let's talk about the Aura Strap 2 for a minute. So I'm obviously into tracking metrics. I track with my Apple Watch. I have the Ultra Human ring on. I have a ring I'm testing on. I had 3 other rings, maybe 4. I don't remember at this point. But I'm really into this kind of stuff. And I saw, I don't know, a couple Facebook or Instagram ads for this strap. And I was like, oh, cool. So it just attaches to my watch. You know, it uses the Bluetooth or whatever. It has these little deals that make sure you get good contact to your skin, et cetera, et cetera. They claim they have a powerful Aura app, that it fully syncs with HealthKit. That's true. It says that you can build the body of your dreams. Whatever body type is your final goal, Aura Strap 2 will guide you along the journey with practical data analytics. We'll get to that. It also says there's advanced analytics and reports, that it's made of high quality materials, and then it offers personal recommendations and has workout content, which I did not care about. They claim they're the first wearable to measure hydration, and it's been on the market for 6 years. They have a bunch of this stuff on their website. I really liked the idea of it. It was supposed to be almost as good as a DEXA scan or some such in the advertising and in the reviews. Now, the reviews I highly doubt are authentic now, because I really looked through them, and a bunch of them are written almost identical. They've changed small variations of things. I highly suspect some of them. What do you get in the box? It's one of those boxes that's next to impossible to get into. So this thing claims like it would do a body scan of you. You hold your wrists like this, and you're having your one wrist touch this on your arm, and you're supposed to hold that in front of your chest and not touch anything. And it populates all these little stupid things on the watch face, and that's where the problems start. So the first few times I did it, it just kept telling me, see, I cannot get this box open. I don't know why these companies make the boxes so hard to get open. So that first reading, so much stuff in here. I want to talk about the waist too. We'll get to that in a minute. So the first reading, I did the thing. It takes like a minute, minute and a half, and you're holding your arms out in front of you and you look stupid, and then it failed. So I had to do it 3 or 4 times the first time. Okay. Maybe I was just learning how to do it. Probably half the time it would work on the first try every day. The other half of the time it would take at least 2 tries, sometimes 3 or 4. After I had used this for about 3 weeks, it almost always needed me to do it at least 3 times to get it to read. Because of that, the battery that's supposed to last months was already showing at 50%, because I was doing weeks worth, a whole week's worth of battery usage in 2 days or less. So that was my first complaint. Their quote unquote quality material, I don't know how well you can pick that up because it doesn't really want to focus, but you can see those scratches on there. This thing was scratched to heck and back like the second day, just from sitting at a desk where I use a fabric and gel goop-filled wrist rest while I worked. So I don't know, I was scratching the heck out of it. And then I want to talk about this. Let me take my watch off here. I have not been wearing this thing for 3 weeks, and my skin here is completely different. It's going to be next to impossible to get it to show up on camera, but these little dots are from those things. And then like the skin here almost looks like burn tissue from where it was just constantly rubbing and abrading, and it doesn't on this side. And I'm not able to tell on the camera, so hopefully you can, but it's just like super wrinkly and stuff there now, where it was just constantly rubbing and these things. And because you're limited on bands, you don't have as much flexibility as a band like this. Like, what they need to make a band like this, for crying out loud. I'm sure Apple has a patent on it, but you could make something similar. Let me put my watch back on and we'll keep talking. Not that great. And then let's talk about the accuracy. They claim in their literature that it's some percentage equivalent to a DEXA, and there's multiple reviews, which I think are dubious, which say, oh, I just got a DEXA and it was spot on, and just variations of that that are clearly just like, to me, written by the same person, and they're like, how do I change it? Let me shift this word here and that word there. Highly suspect. Now, back to the bands real fast. You do get other bands, and this is where I think there is just a ridiculous amount of waste. They send you a gajillion different combinations of these things depending on the size. So you get 4 of them. And, these are some kind of rubber, and I'm just like, seems wasteful. Why don't you give me something I can print out and put on my wrist like Apple did initially with the watch? They may still do it. But when that first Apple Watch came out, there was just a thing you could print. And it would be like, you know, use a ruler. Here's the scale. Yes, you printed it to scale. Now try it on your wrist. Instead, they send you these, and they're just slightly different in size. Like, some of them, we're talking, I don't know, a millimeter or two of difference there. And same thing here. You've got like the tiniest bit of size difference. All it's different in size there is just the width of this thing. And I'm like, make a band. I know it needs to be tight when you perform the thing because you need the skin contact on those and you need the skin contact on your other wrist on those. So gee, I don't know, use holes, and then I can wear it at a comfortable amount all day long, because even the biggest one was too tight most of the time. And I think that's why this kind of jacked up my skin. But put the holes in there. Then you can send me one. We're not throwing all this stuff into a landfill. And I can tighten it one notch when it's time to take the measurement and then loosen it rest of the time. This thing would wake me up at night because it was so stinking tight, or because my wrist was so clammy and sticky and just blah. And even the band, decent scratches and stuff in it. Like, what are you talking about? Quality material. And then they've got like this super premium packaging that's just going to go straight into the landfill. So the battery on it, it just uses a dumb coin cell battery. And it gives you this little guitar pick to pry it open. And then you've just got your coin cell in here. Come on. This thing's already so full of skin. Well, I'm not going to take it apart, but you literally take this apart and there's a coin cell battery. And you're just supposed to replace those batteries every, I think it said like 3 months or 6 months or something. In all likelihood, I was going to have to replace this thing after about 5 or 6 weeks. So that's also something to keep in mind. And yeah, it kind of walks you through it right here. It says use the pick or a credit card, and you just pop it open, and then, you know, Bob's your uncle, and there's the coin cell in there. If you would like to waste your money, please, by all means, buy one of these. Oh yeah, here's the diagram. So there's just a little coin cell in there. They're charging some ridiculous amount for this thing. Now, it tries to tell you how much muscle and how much, yeah, here's the stupid little dots, and you got to do this. And sorry, I said your wrist earlier. I meant the palm of your hand. You use the meaty part, but then you got to try not to touch. It's a pain in the butt. But it tries to tell you the percentage of muscle and body fat and moisture. And I could take the reading, and it would give me one reading. I could immediately take the reading again, and something would change 5%. And I'm just like, guys, like, it's just not a good product. I cannot recommend this thing. The only person this is for is someone that wants to waste their money and capture completely useless metrics. It would keep my weight the same each day because my weight was the same. I would enter my weight. Oh, that's another thing. Let me get to that in a second. So you would manually enter your weight every time you took the reading, and then it would do all the math and stuff. After 3 weeks, it stopped letting me change the weight. The weight would be there. The wheel would be there. I could not move it. I rebooted my phone. I took the battery out, put it back in on this, rebooted my watch, would not let me change the weight anymore. So if I lost weight, who cares? Because I couldn't change it. But if I had my weight exactly the same and I measured one day, it would literally say I lost 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds of muscle between the 2 days, and would usually change it to fat. So it's completely worthless. Unlike a DEXA scan, which is actually somewhat accurate, this thing is not. It's just, in my opinion, my experience, I'm sure I'm going to get a takedown notice for this. It's just worthless. Do not buy the Aura Strap 2. That's all I can say. This wasn't a clickbait video. Do not buy this thing.